Hello everyone and welcome to another Top 5 Records video. Can Beyoncé sing country? I hear a lot of people talking about that question, and it's not a strange question because this week she will release a new album called Cowboy Carter, which is supposedly incredibly influenced by country, and some people even claim it's going to be a full-on country album. If you take a look at the artwork she released, it's clear what we're gonna get, or what we can assume what we can get. Cowboy Carter is the part two in her COVID trilogy, a trilogy of albums she recorded during Corona. The first one I have here, it's Renaissance. Now, before I answer the question, um, can Beyonce sing country? I think it's good to tell you my emotions with regard to Beyonce. I was not so much interested in her until she released Lemonade and this one, Renaissance. Those two albums I really, really love. And I think she's a very interesting artist who can experiment a lot. Now, what is my relation to country? I love country. I really love country. I really enjoy the older stuff by Hank Williams. Then I'm pretty much a fan of the late 60s and 70s with artists like Chris Christopherson, Waylon Jennings, Johnny Cash, um, Townsend Zand. I really enjoy Dolly Parton, Linda Ronstadt. There are so many incredible country artists in those periods, and I have about 100 country records here. So I'm a fan of country. I'm not so much interested in country after or even during the 80s. I do not enjoy the poppy sound they took, and I like the outlaw country a lot, and the outlaws changed a lot. Nevertheless, at any moment in time, there are beautiful country albums. The 80s has Trio, the 90s has Teatro, the beautiful Willie Nelson album, and everywhere at certain moments there is gorgeous, beautiful country. So, why would it even be a debate? Could Beyonce sing country? Is it because she is more of a pop R&B artist? And we have seen, of course, artists make the step from pop and R&B to country, like we've seen with Taylor Swift making the step from pop or from country to pop, and lately to more folk-oriented music. So that might not be the question. What lies in a lot of people's minds has to do with race or skin color, because people have stated that they call country a white genre. Now, I'm always interested in historical arguments, but it's impossible to call country a white genre. You can call it a predominantly white genre because most of the artists from those days, and most from the artists which I've just been talking about, were indeed white. But at any moment in history, there have been black artists present in country. As a matter of fact, one of the most influential country albums I have here, it's Ray Charles' modern modern sounds in country and western songs. This is a gorgeous, beautiful, and influential album. So, how about that race discussion in music? Um, well, there have been genres in which there is a connection between race, tradition, and genre. But first and foremost, I think it's important to state that I do not think. No, I'm not going to even make it even short. Um, I think it's impossible to put race and genre uh, to fully connect them in a sense that you cannot make certain music if you're not from a specific race. I think that is bullshit. And if you take a look at history, and if you want to use historical arguments, there are loads of examples. Let's take a look at soul. I've been discussing David Bowie's soul period recently, and I've been talking about how he struggled as a white artist to make soul music, which was predominantly a black genre in those days. But he did do it. He struggled, and he worked together with black musicians, and he made soul. He called it plastic soul. But when you listen to Young Americans, you can hear him sing soul. Also, followers on this channel might know that I have a certain opinion about the blues. I tend to lean towards to prefer black vocalists in the world of blues. When I listen to Joe Bonamassa, Eric Clapton, I hear they're doing something with the blues that I am not comfortable with, and that does not contain a certain rawness, a certain essence, a certain emotion that I am more likely to get when I put on the album of a black artist, like let's say Muddy Waters, Howlin' Wolf, Lightning Hopkins, John Lee Hooker, Jimmy Smith, Jimmy Reed, Son House, Willie Dixon. There are so many gorgeous late 50s, 60s blues artists whose soul and vibe is completely different and seems to have nothing to do with what Clapton and Bonamassa did. But then again, it is not a rule. There is not a golden rule. There are links between traditions and genres, but these are not rules, because when I listen to Rory Gallagher with Taste at the Isle of Wight, I hear the blues. When I listen to Robert Plant on Led Zeppelin 1, I hear the blues. When I listen to Paul Rodgers with Free or Bad Company, I hear the blues. And those are white vocalists. So genre does not belong to any race or skin color. Also, I don't think Beyonce is gonna have the struggles with making a country album the way David Bowie did when he made a soul album. For a very simple reason. Beyonce has shown that she has experience. Beyonce comes from Texas, from Houston, Texas. She grew up in that area. And also, she already released 2 songs of the album. 60 Carriages, which has a strong country influence. I think it's a fairly good and okay song. I'm not hooked on it, not fully grabbed by it, but there's also another song, Texas Hold'em. And Texas Hold'em is one of the most exciting moments in country that I have heard in decades. It is fresh. It is daring. She has a certain country soul in her voice, a conviction, a sound. It's challenging. And when I listened to that song, I thought, I'm not even going to wait until I find her record in stores. I'm going to pre order it on her website. That's the first time after I've done that for about a couple of years back for David Bowie, because Bowie did some live releases, which you could only find on his website. Yeah, this is the only time since then that I pre-ordered an album on the website, because I am really excited about Texas Hold'em. And I'm gonna review her album Cowboy Carter when it comes out later this week. I think it will first come out digitally, and I'll review it, and I'll keep an open mind. I'm not sure what I'll think, but she has me anticipated with Texas Hold'em. And for now, my guess is yes, Beyonce can sing country. We can hear her do it. Can she fulfill an entire country album? We'll find out later this week. Let's check it out.